Well, south of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some funky songs. Rank them songs. Songs gonna rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog.
Hey, we're back, folks.
Hey.
Thank y'all for being patient with us as I move from one end of the country to the other end. But welcome back to Off Our Stones, from the top part of the country to the bottom part of the country, essentially.
Where'd you move?
Florida.
Marlins territory.
What?
Wait, you didn't know this?
You didn't tell me location. I just thought you were moving like a place. I was like, man, he's taking a long time. Florida?
Florida,
Jeez.
yeah.
That's crazy.
How many books did you have to burn on the way in?
We threw them in front of the train as they rolled along, so we didn't burn anything.
Enjoy the income tax.
Welcome back to Off Our Stones, the show where Brooklyn and I looked at the Rolling Stone Top 500 and went, we can do better. So yeah, that's what we did. Cody is going to be the voice of the people, deciding on whether or not some of these songs get to stay or they get vetoed. Remind me if I'm wrong. There's 3 vetoes left, and I want to say there's 2 switcheroos.
I thought I had 4 vetoes, but I wasn't sure.
Well, either way,
I think it might be 3.
Maybe.
Well, we'll figure it out as we go along. Odds are he won't be using all of them.
I might sneak an extra one in there.
What? Okay,
What?
so Cody, just some real quick thoughts about the list we have today. This is the first episode where we're only doing 10 songs at a time, since we're getting into the nitty-gritty of it. Don't forget, once we hit 51, that's your last chance to use a veto. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I don't think you're actually right, because you sent me a list with 15 songs. So, is that true?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
We're only talking about 10 songs.
Then I don't know what 5 we're eliminating, so that will be interesting.
That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I think you're maybe looking at the wrong list, my friend.
Episode
21.
I'm on the list. 1, 2.
Are you
3,
sure those
4,
are not
5, 6,
suggestions?
7, 8.
Yeah.
9,
Did they accidentally throw on the smart shuffle?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay, so that was weird, but I think we got that figured out.
We have 10 songs. We have 10 songs.
What are your overall thoughts?
Good 10 songs, I will say. Some are not my favorite, but I don't really have any anger towards any of them. And 2 fantastic songs. So I'm excited to talk about them.
Okay.
What number are we on? 100?
We're on number 90 through 81.
Okay. So I need to know when I can do my vetoes. I have to plan them accordingly.
So let's get started then with number 90. She's Not There by the Zombies. Brooklyn, you had this higher than I did, which actually really surprised me, considering the last time we talked about this song.
Yeah. So last time we talked about the show, the first time that we talked about it on the list, I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought that I thought there was something wrong with the vocals and the chorus and whatnot. But then this cover band played it at work one day, and it kind of opened my eyes as to how great the song is and all the things that are happening in it. I think the keys are doing such a great job in just driving that beat along, and it's not too effect heavy. And it was weird because coming into the show, I was going to be I think this is kind of a song that transitions from the 60s into the 70s. You have that light kind of pop, but there is that kind of that drive, almost like a funk to it. But then I realized that the song came out in 64, so it weirdly enough, it seems kind of ahead of its time. I think my favorite part though is like the little pre-chorus before it is like it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. And then just how they build up into the chorus. It's very simple, but it's extremely effective. But yeah, it skyrocketed to the hundreds for me. And I think, 90s pretty good. Like this is a pretty good zombie song.
I don't remember which one between this and Time of the Season I had ranked higher. I think they were pretty close for me. But yeah, first of all, Rod Argent on those keys, I'm starting to think is like one of the most underappreciated musicians in a band. Like he's a guy that I don't think we talk about enough, considering how amazingly his keyboard solos always sound. This is a song where I think that they just have a fantastic knack for finding grooves. Because that pocket that they find is just so nice. And the other thing I really love about this song is actually the drums. I feel like Phil Collins is a really big fan of this song because I hear a lot of his drumming in this song. But it's got like that nice simple pattern, but it just kind of like floats around the drum set. So it's just like a really, really incredibly made short piece that doesn't overstay its welcome, but when it's there, it's just really good ear candy. But Cody, what do you think about this song?
So I think it's a fine song. I don't love the song in general. The fact that because I know time of the season is higher on the list, like
Our
in the
like lower ranking because we talked
lower
about it
ranked
last episode. Yeah,
Either the last episode or the episode before it.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no comparison in my opinion. I think time of the season is like, as somebody that doesn't care about like instruments, like what's playing where. That one's just constructed. Like I could listen to that without words and still like enjoy what's happening there. So it's a fine song. It doesn't hold a candle in my opinion. But yeah,
fair. It's the lowest on this list for a good reason, or at least
I should have been able to grab time of the season and put it here and take that and put it there. That's what I should be able to.
That would have been an interesting
feature.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting idea. But let's move on to number 89, "Be My Baby" by the Ronettes. Once again, another one that I'm actually surprised that Brooklyn has higher than me. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
This was one that I think it was in the top 100 initially, and
it was pretty high too.
Yeah, and I was like, this doesn't need to get moved a lot. I'm kind of curious now as to what I have this wedged in between. I'll probably look that up. Whatever you're talking. But similar to what you're saying with "She's Not There" and the Zombies, the drum work in this is really cool, and it's different. Kind of has that Ringo Starr kind of feel to it. Like you got like the maracas, but then you kind of get the descending toms on the kiss, and then you have this like there's a kind of a raspiness to the voice that I really really enjoy. The strings and like kind of the middle section, like that's kind of been the standard for these like wall of sound songs. That's always a great time there. But just how they move around and the melody in particular, like especially in the line of like, we'll make them turn their heads and especially turn. There's a little bit of a bend on that note, and like it's really cool. And then, like when we were playing this, I was playing it earlier this afternoon. My partner was like, "Oh, this is in one of my favorite movies," and I couldn't figure out which one it was. And they were like Patrick Swayze, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense." So like, yeah, perfect placement in a movie. And then 249 though, I gotta say, for someone that likes the wall of sound as much as you do, I'm a little surprised.
It's a song that's grown on me. I don't know how much higher it would be on my list. It probably would be a little bit higher. But this is like Martin Scorsese movie music to me. Like this is exactly. I feel like he's added this song somewhere in one of his movies.
It's in Mean Streets. It's in Mean Streets. Yes.
Yeah. Um, that's its own genre now. It's Martin Scorsese movie music. But yeah, I agree with you about the drums and the production. I think it's Phil Spector, and as much as I don't want to give Phil Spector credit for being a crazy man, kind of was a genius at this stuff. And the vocals, I really like the lead in to like the pre-chorus, just like the way that the notes kind of flutter into this punch of a chorus. I think it's just like a really well structured song. Um, so yeah, it's held the test of time incredibly well. Sounds amazing. Great work here. But Cody,
So I
oh yeah,
sorry, I was just gonna say I have this wedged in between "Comfortably Numb" by Pink Floyd and a song that I don't think that we have talked about yet.
interesting. Cody, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the type of song that the mobster goes out on a date with somebody, and somebody comes in with a gun and shoots
That
them.
was it.
Yeah. This is like another he has that thing. So as soon as I heard it, I was like, Goodfellas? Question mark? No. Mean Street? Yes. So I knew it just fit. I honestly don't love it. Like I think it should work a lot more for me than it does, but it feels like maybe too gushy. Like, maybe I do need a killing to involve during the song to make it feel less lovey.
I was gonna say it doesn't work for you unless there's a shotgun being shot.
Yeah. So that's maybe my thought, but overall, like I like this era being represented of music, so I don't have any really gripes with that. I would have lost so much money if I placed a bet on who had this song higher. Not a shot that I would have had Brooklyn. So that's a surprise of the night.
That's something else we should have thought about is Cody being able to like put money, like actual money.
Yeah, before you reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 80.
He didn't want to lose. He didn't want to lose Brooklyn. He won, and he wanted to keep his win and run.
But I wanted Cody to lose money, so that's what it was. All right, moving on to number 88. You Can't Hurry Love by the Supremes. So I had this one higher. Hey guys, remember how I talked about the motherfucking Wrecking Crew a lot on this show? Well, it's time to introduce you guys to another backing band that doesn't get the credit they deserve, the Funk Brothers. These guys, I just realized who these guys were, and I'm disappointed in myself for not knowing this sooner. They were behind like most of Motown's biggest hits. And yeah, there's a good reason why this song is as good as it is, and it's because of the Funk Brothers instrumentation. They are tight. That groove is fantastic. But also Diana Ross just like sells this song so much. This is one of those songs where I feel like she put her acting into it. Cause you can hear like the kind of like tired, like I'm over it, like come on, like someone find me already, kind of weariness into her voice. And she just sells the song incredibly well. It's just a great song. There's a reason that other people have covered it over and over and over again. And it's just got some lyrics in it that just like stick in your mind. Like it just kind of stays there like the first time you hear it. It's almost like a soliloquy. It's just a really great piece.
Yeah, I would honestly probably swap this and "Be My Baby" in my rankings. It's a fucking phenomenal song, and to kind of give my history of it, I heard the Phil Collins version first, and I was like, oh, this is incredible, and like, oh, this is a cover, and then this song came on, and I was like, oh, it's fucking unreal. When you think about like the bass line and like a song that I kind of compare it to is like Jets Are You Gonna Be My Girl? Like that song gets a ton of influence from that bass line, just kind of the chug that it has with it. And just like kind of the sway and the back and forth. And I agree with you, Andrew, and some of the line delivery and whatnot, and especially but I keep on waiting, anticipating for that like the soft voice. Like I get what you're saying there, and like the kind of like the frustration that she has in it at times. But I love the bridge in this as well, and just kind of how it builds right back in into it. The call and answer of the chorus, and just how the backing vocals kind of like they sit on top of like everything else that's going on in the beat. But yeah, it's really freaking good, and I just like it doesn't get killed with re-listen. I just I can't talk much. I can't. Words are fucking hard. The pace is great.
Difficult.
Yes. Me find English impossible.
Cody, what are your thoughts on this one?
Like, this song could easily be like in the top 50. I love this song, and I don't care. Like, it could be it. This is one of those songs that should fall into the like repetition like too much. But I'm pretty sure if there was like a 40-minute version of You Can't Hurry Love, I would still be in the 39th minute. You can't hurry love. Like, I'd still be with it the entire way. It's just, I was going to say the same thing you said. Like, you can tell her acting's in this because how she portrays like her feelings and stuff for it. Like, when will I find somebody to love so I can like live again? Like, and it's just like her wanting to be with somebody. It's just such a good song in that beat, and like, oh, it's like a happy go kind of lucky song. There's just like that theme, but it's about like a subject matter like why can't hurry it, but I would like to. So no, great. And yeah, Be My Baby, like my opinion, they're not even close. Like, this one is this is one of those excellent songs I was talking about when I looked at the list. Like, this song is like absolutely insane.
Yep. Very much agreed. But let's move on to one that I know that Cody was very excited about when he first saw the list. Lose Yourself by Eminem.
We can talk about it at the end. We can try. It's going to the front. No question. No question. No movie, no Mekhi Phifer. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
One actor's name I will never miss. Like, ever.
Let's move on to the new 87 then. Dancing in the Street by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Once again, this is like 3 out of 4 where I'm like, Brooklyn has this higher than me somehow.
This one has a weird kind of nostalgia to it. I think the first time I heard it was in the Disney's Recess movie.
Recess Schools Out, yeah. Same.
That was one of the first movies that I'd seen twice in the theaters. But yeah, I like just the horns in it. I think just do a really good job setting up the beat, and then especially you get to that line of like, doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you are there. How the horns kind of slow down in that section to kind of really let Martha Reeves shine in it. And then just like the like she's rhyming off the various cities, and then it goes to like the dancing in the streets again. Similar again, that like I'm a sucker for call and answer, so it's always gonna have a high spot if you add that into the mix. Yeah, I think that's it there.
The fucking Funk Brothers, do it again, baby. Those horns that like start the song off. It's like the start of a race, and you're just like in it at the very beginning. Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, I think, are in my opinion, one of the more unfairly underrated acts of this time period. Because they've got like hits and bangers, and like whenever we talk about greatest like female groups of all time, for some reason they never get talked about, like, or at least very rarely. And this is like their magnum opus. It is just joyous. It is celebratory. It is absolutely one that they're like, when they say everybody they mean everybody join in on this song. They don't care who you are. They just want you to fucking dance and enjoy this. It's just such a well-produced, well-performed song. And I'm never going to let Brooklyn live this down. One of my earliest memories of Brooklyn is talking with him about this song and him saying, I might like the Mick Jagger, David Bowie version better.
Oh, yes.
And me just losing my mind because this version blows that shit out of the fucking water. Yeah, it's an incredible piece. And
when you join this community early on, I feel like your hot takes kind of go at the start because it's like I need something to grab people's attention of me, and then that happens, and then you kind of settle in, and you're like, let's dial these back a little bit.
But Cody, let's get your thoughts on this song.
I think I annoyed my parents because I watched Recess School's Out, and this song, I asked for it to be played a lot. And they're like, okay, we get it. Like, Dancing in the Street. I'm like, but it's in the movie. Like, it's really good. And I don't know if that movie holds up. I'm probably never going to watch it for the sake of just saving nostalgia. But, yeah, good times. It brings a lot of nostalgia back for me from that song. I don't like, objectively, I don't really love the song as much listening to it now, but I think it's still a really good song. It's like it's really cool. It kind of sounds like, I don't know how they made it or whatever, but you get the vibe like they're screaming, like getting everybody out in the streets. Like it sounds like it's not shot in, like recorded in a studio. Like you feel that vibe. Like, so it works for me. I've heard a lot of good things about this song over the years, so it makes sense to be in like a top list. So makes sense.
You know what, Cody? I think you bring up a really good point. It does sound like it's being recorded outside, and like all of the members of the Vandellas are standing on top of the same car, just singing into the same microphone. Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. I think that's a really smart thought right there. All right, so moving on to the new 86, Jump by Van Halen. First of all, Hollywood, let's have a talk. Just because your movie takes place in the 80s doesn't mean you automatically have to play Jump. I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs. You're killing it. You're doing the same thing that you did to Let's Get It On. You're overdoing it with the 80s. But Eddie Van Halen's synthesizer line is incredible. Like the moment that he gets into the part where he's just like free soloing, and you're like, this is Eddie Van Halen. This is like that guy who's supposed to be like a really good guitar player. It's not fair that he can play the keyboards as well. But it's one of those songs that like the dichotomy is really good. Because when you look at the lyrics, they're not quite as sunshiny and bright as the instrumentation is. And I think that adds just like a really cool dynamic to this song. Might as well jump. So, Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think a lot of bands can fumble their transition from the 70s into the 80s. The two that immediately kind of come to mind are like Billy Joel and like Meatloaf were the kind of the two examples that I had. But you're right in the dichotomy of the keyboard and the guitar work. Like that intro is just so effective. And this is the one time I wish I had a piano here with me, because it's literally like he's holding the root note and then just playing the other aspects of the chord in it, and then like that little he kind of dips down and to hit the, I guess it'd be like the fifth of the chord or whatever. And it just, there's something really satisfying about that because you're hitting that root note for so long and then go down from one or whatever. But I think why the keyboard solo works so well later on in the song is because Eddie's basically doing the same thing that he would on a guitar, just on a piano. Like just the way that it sounds like that, like tapping that he would already be doing on the guitar, similar kind of chord structures and whatnot. And even whenever he's like, whenever he has like the right hand playing the same notes within the left hand, like the bass is changing notes or whatever. Similar things, and even how he slows down. I also David Lee Roth. Like I think one of the greatest lines in this list we're talking about is like, "Can't you see me standing here? I got the back against the record machine. I ain't the worst that you've seen. Can't you see what I mean?" It's just like there's a subtleness to it as well. But yeah, of the 80s, I think this is one of the ones that hits it out of the park.
Cody, do you like the song, or does this make you want to jump? Shut up, Mr. Producer Man.
Hey, why don't you go headfirst into one of those hurricanes that will be hitting your new state at any point? Okay, anyways.
On the opposite
That
side
was
of the
all-
state, so nice try.
Well, I hope it comes from the other side. Okay. Anyways, you guys are gonna hate me saying this.
Ooh, interesting.
This song is ruined because this is in season 1, I believe, of Glee.
I
And
gotta
it's
I gotta
about-
fact check this myself.
It's in a mattress. They get mattresses. They're in a mattress commercial,
Oh my god.
and they just leap and jump. And it's like, if Van Halen signed off on this, they should literally be disgusted with themselves. Like, I think it sounds really cool. It's just what. So my uncle's favorite band was Van Halen. So I've heard Jump too much. I've heard Jump a lot.
Yeah.
So it sounds cool, but even the coolest movie or whatever, you watch it enough, it loses something over time. Like, it can't be played constant, especially a song that's so short. So it's cool. It definitely deserves of that 80s hair metal. It definitely deserves like its spot. I don't know what other Van Halen song that I would like put. There's probably one other one, but
Hot for Teacher.
yeah, another one that Glee ruined. But Van Halen needed some money, I guess. But overall, like, you can respect what they were able to do. Like,
Cody, I have a question for you based on this sort of philosophy. So I'm going to bring it back to food. No surprise here. So say you go to Tim Hortons and you have like a really good
I've
Boston
never had
cream
a Tim
donut. And
Hortons.
you're like,
Don't.
okay,
that's
well,
disgusting. That's
they're not good.
disgusting. Boston. I don't want
Dunkin'.
stuff in my freaking donut.
I don't know. I was going to compare it to Dunkin' Donuts, but I really didn't like Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, just use your thing without naming a restaurant. Just give a dish
But
and
like,
then say it.
if a great thing already exists, and
Right.
like you have an inferior version of it, does that discount like the already great thing? Like, I get that you heard it a lot. Really?
Yeah, so here's my thing. If I eat the greatest steak that I've ever had, right?
Yeah.
And somebody tries to replicate that steak and I vomit on that steak, I constantly think those two things are connected.
See, that's weird. I'm the exact opposite. Last week, I went to like this Japanese sushi spot or whatever, and I was like,
No,
I ate there and it was good, but it made me want to go to the other spot that I like more just because they do it better.
no, but here's the benefit. It's right. So that one's tolerable, right? That one was edible. You enjoyed it, but you needed the other one. Glee and Van Halen aren't the same thing. So it's like if I like a glazed donut and I eat a glazed donut and I think, oh, this is delicious, and the next glazed donut I eat, I throw up on that glazed donut. You know, the next time I'm ever going to eat another glazed donut, regardless the best one that's ever existed, probably never. So, difference.
I'm just more insulted.
You literally just compared okay sushi. You said okay sushi is Glee. That you should be ashamed of yourself.
It was dollars.
You should
store,
jump.
like
Off a building.
Okay, moving on. There's no way stopping that. Nope. We're moving on.
well, no. The other actual thing I was wondering was what was the trailer that you saw it in that made you go like, huh, like this is being overused? Because for me now, mind you, I'm not the big movie guy that you two are.
No, he's talking to me.
I'm talking to Andrew about the. Because it was used in a trailer for something that it kind of puts you over the edge. Because for me, whenever I think of like Ready Player One, okay. Because when I think of like overused 80s songs and movies, I think of Separate Ways by Journey.
Oh, really? Okay, we'll talk about this later. Because I don't think that one gets overplayed at all.
Most overrated songs in media. Sounds like a draft topic.
I like
Your
that
list
idea.
sucks.
All right, moving on
That's retired.
as we contemplate that idea. Number 85 is Straight Outta Compton by NWA.
We are the right crowd to talk about this.
Okay, since I have this higher by only.
Why don't you sing a little bit of it, Bar, so we can get the taste of what
Straight Outta
what
Compton,
your favorite.
crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. And I'm gonna stop there. So, what I love about this song is how hard it goes. Like, it starts at 10 and it ends at 12. Literally just like the siren kind of effect that it has going on, like throughout it. Such a great touch, and like adds that kind of like tension that this song really needs. Plus, I just really like this is some of Ice Cube's best writing because the flow in this is so interesting and unique that it's one that I think I've heard other people try to attempt to recreate, and they just fall on their face every single time. But like the interplay between Cube and the way it weaves into Ren's verse, and then the way it weaves into Eazy's verse, is just seamless. Like they sound like a very cohesive unit, and that makes it even more impressive, especially for a song with like this kind of topic, because they sound like they sound ferocious together, and I think that is the biggest strength of this song, is how each one of them just attacks their verse. It's a great piece. It's an important piece, and it has just held up incredibly well over time.
Yeah, so I'll go off of what Andrew was saying. I think they did an incredible job of arranging who had a verse where, because I think if you interchange the verses, it doesn't quite do the same justice. Like Ice Cube is probably the best person to lead off any song because he gives you the story right away, and he gives you the emotion of it as well. And then transition into MC Ren, who I think is an underrated rapper of this group. Definitely had a bit of a falling off. I remember my brother telling me about like him. He played at a random concert in Fredericton one time, and like hardly anybody showed up, which is a shame considering he's on this song.
Yeah.
But MC Ren does a really good job of kind of like sitting in the groove of this and like staying on the beat, similar to Ice Cube, but not as heavy as Sharp. But then you get into Eazy-E, who's kind of off of the beat, and like especially like the the smother your mother line kind of starts that process for them as well. But yeah, there's some like really cool lines in here that I can't really say. But
Why?
Why? Because they got words that don't really like some like people got to pass on some words, and we don't get a pass on that. So.
All right, Cody. As a white man, what are your thoughts on this? By the way, I hope you enjoy that. By the way, I hope you enjoy the milk that we sent you as you talk about this.
Yeah. I like that you both put in like the 150 mark. You're like, listen, we need representation on that. We're gonna put it right here because this is where we're at. You know, I thought that was interesting. You both ended up in the exact same spot. That's funny. Yeah, I like the song. I don't like blare it in my car, just for reasons. But overall, like
I can't do that.
No, no. For your safety, no. I think it's really good. I think Ice Cube. I think overall, I think the song is good. I think the song starts the strongest, and like it doesn't live up to the strong after that because I think Ice Cube is like he just sounds angry and pissed off. Like for the longest time before he did like family movies, like Ice Cube was a feared guy. Like he just like if you watch the scene from Straight Outta Compton, the movie, like when he goes into the manager's like thing and starts smashing shit with the bat. Like he he's serious when he does stuff. So and he always got looked like on that angry look that he had. So you can just feel that in the lyrics. But overall, yeah, I don't love it as much as I like respect it. You know.
That's fair. It's fair. All right, let's move on to number 84 then. One that is actually, I think, the only one on this section of the list to not make either version of the Rolling Stone 500. Crazy on You
Which
by
is
Heart.
it's fucking insane that this did not make either list, considering this is, I think it's Heart's best song.
Well, you get to start, so continue on.
Nancy motherfucking Wilson at the start of this, near the end, whether you're giving her the solo or the intro, that intro has no reason to be as batshit insane as it is. But it's just it's there, and then how it kind of slows down. The lick in general, just how simplistic it is, but she just nails it right in the fucking head. And then like Ann Wilson is already talked about as an incredible vocalist, but like the fact that this is one family, like we talk about like big families, like mostly because of a concert that I went to last week, like the Wainwrights are big family, like the, oh my god, why am I
The
blanking
Newmans.
on it? The Newmans, the fucking like the Osbournes too, the Osmonds.
There.
Yeah, Osmonds, the Jacksons, yeah, those sort of big families. Like I put them in an upper echelon. A person in this band though that I want to give a shout out to, Dan Rothschild, the bassist, because I think he's doing a really good job of giving counter melody that kind of comes after a lot of Ann's lines. And then especially you get into that little ditty that Nancy does in between the verse and the pre-chorus. I think Dan's doing a really good job of kind of he kind of slides up and hits one of the notes in there. I think kind of keeps it fresh whenever you get to that pre-chorus. But yeah, like the bridge in this as well, like a wild man's world is crying in pain. What you gonna do when everybody's insane? And just like how Ann's able to have that range, but then also go a mile a minute when she needs to, like kind of very Jim Steinman-esque in terms of the writing. But
yeah, I think you nailed it on the head when you said that like the strength of the song is the Wilson sisters. Like Nancy Wilson's guitar work on this is just, first of all, she's one of those guitarists that is legendary for a good goddamn reason. Just like the grooves and the structure that she creates, it's like a railroad. It's just like a train coming at you, and it's so good. And even part of this, like the simplistic parts where it's just like that part. And I know it sounded like I was about to go into Barracuda. Nice try. But it's just so well crafted. And Ann Wilson is just one of those vocalists who I think being like that power ballad band in the 80s kind of affected people's thoughts on her. Because when she wants to rock, she can rock. There was a reason that they got compared to Led Zeppelin a lot, because she is just an amazingly talented vocalist. Just go ahead.
Have you seen whenever Led Zeppelin got inducted, or no?
Yes,
Led Zeppelin got
Kennedy
the
Center
award,
honors.
and then Ann Nancy Wilson did Stairway to Heaven. So it's like funny they mentioned that.
Well,
it's like, oh,
they did Stairway to Heaven back in like the early 70s too, or the mid 70s too. Yeah, they covered it like years ago, and it's the greatest cover of that song ever. But yeah, so it's just a great goddamn rock song. Cody, what are your thoughts on this one?
Heart doesn't get enough credit. Like they do
Mhm.
not get spoken in the same breath. I sent Andrew a message. I'm just curious. Just for my sake, because this is not my favorite Heart song. I have other favorite Heart songs. Not saying this was This one isn't good. Okay, so I know what one of my vetoes will be later down the line. I know which one will be there, but
Okay.
now that it's on the list. But I guess the song that people most like talk about is Barracuda, and I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it got to the because it was on like Rock Band or like Guitar Hero.
3.
Yeah, it was used, so our frame of reference knows that. But this song is, I think this song is better. I think
I
the
agree.
song that I'm going to veto later will be like is my. It's a song I forget. Her voice, I could listen to for the rest. If I could like, I don't know if she'd be my definitive, but if any song out there, I just need one person to cover, and that was the only voice, I would be totally okay with her. She is outstanding. Like, and I think she is so hard to cover. I've seen people die trying, and the people that do it are like, you applaud because I think it's great. But yeah, I'm so happy that song is not on the list, so I will. Yes, yes, yeah, that's exactly what I've done.
Okay, so my cousin covered this song a couple weeks ago. Whenever my uncle's band was playing, and she hit it out of the park. I respect the song more than I like it, though.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's just my kind of song. It hits every box for me. A powerful like ballad from like a powerful. I guess would you consider that a ballad? I'm not sure. I don't know how to speak.
I would say it's a ballad. Yeah.
A powerful ballad sung by a female vocalist will always be like a check in the box for me to just like go in that right direction. If you sing it powerfully, and she does, it will be on there. Crazy on You. She just, that song, and I didn't know they were a family. I'll be honest with you. I don't know a lot. Like I know the song, but I didn't know they were like a family. That's crazy. That is crazy. Like that just works even better for me. So, yeah, great choice. Great choice on here. I think the more heart, the better, and the more people that talk about them, they deserve way more flowers than they ever get because you do not. Even from that time frame, you don't. There's people that talk about them, but no one talks about them in depth like they should.
Agreed. Ooh, we should have Kelly and Melissa on talk about heart. See what comes of that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to number 83 on our list. At Last by Etta James. There's a reason that this song shows up in like every high school and college vocal performance setting because it's just so goddamn beautiful. Like those strings that come in at the beginning, there's just luscious and it's like cloud-like. And then Etta James, oh my god. I genuinely think that this is one of the best vocal performances of all time. Like her voice is just so rich. There's so much depth to it and soul. And it's just so goddamn amazing to listen to. And just like the way she ends the song with and you are mine at last. I wish I had a better response than a chef kiss, but like I don't think I have a better one.
You can do the Tommy DeVito. It's like the
Tommy Cutlets, yeah. But yeah, Etta James, her performance on the song just like absolutely skyrockets it up my list.
Yeah, so like so we were talking about what was it? Yeah, Jump by Van Halen. This one for me, it gets killed by commercials and how often it's used in those.
Yeah.
But I think why the intro works so much is because the strings are taking all this time to kind of build up tension, and then literally with just those two words "at last," you kind of get the feeling of like what the song is going to be about, because that line basically like resolves all the tension that was built, kind of brings it to the root, and there's a sense of relief there and whatnot. Two things that I found on this listen that really kind of enhanced it for me. The bridge, how, because a lot of bridges will try to like go almost on a separate lane and then come in, but I like this one because she kind of keeps one foot into what was building in the verse with the melody. Like she kind of just tweaks that a little bit. I thought that was really cool. And one of the line in the third verse of like you smiled, there's a little touch on the end where you hear these strings like do do do, and to me that kind of gives the emotion, it's kind of like her heart responding of like oh, he's seeing this person smile, and then like your heart just kind of growing, or like the emotional kind of response to that. So I like those little touches in this, and yeah, it's a pretty fucking song. Like this is a song to dance to, like when nobody's watching. So,
Cody, what are your thoughts on that last?
I feel like this song. I agree, commercials have ruined this song. But what I will say is her vocals. I think this is one of the songs that I've seen covered by a lot of big artists. They honestly sound bad doing this. Like it just doesn't have the same soul in the song. And I guess, like, I don't know a vocal. You guys can always probably have 75 more options than me, but like, less with more. Like, she doesn't have a lot to go like with, and she's just basically in a box by her. Like, there's instruments, but they are clearly the background. Like, they're not overshadowing anything, and she's having to do all the work as it is and carry it through, and she just is able to like show this emotion through it. It's insane. Like, but like I've seen Celine Dion, Cyndi Lauper, and Aretha Franklin even do all this, and I still just don't think any of them sound remotely in the same ballpark as Etta. And that just shows, like, when you do a song and you literally put a stamp, mine. You know, like there are people that come along and do covers, and they take those songs over, and they're like, you don't even remember who originally did it.
Yeah,
this is just, you can do it, but you will never live up to the original. So,
Godspeed to whoever tries to do this.
Good luck.
And to all those girls at those high school and college recitals that I talked about earlier. Yeah, okay.
Pick a different song.
Pick a different song. All right, moving on to number 82 now, which would be Something by the Beatles. Brooklyn, you have this higher than I do, so go ahead.
What a pretty fucking song! Like the guitar lick, like George Harrison. I'm probably getting the name wrong. George Martin, the producer, the fifth Beatle. Yeah, his footprint is definitely in here, like with the strings and how it kind of plays with the guitar near the end of the verse. A kind of a mind-blowing moment that I never even thought of, or I don't think we've ever talked about whenever this song has appeared. The song doesn't have a chorus.
Mm-hmm.
It had like it's similar to that like American folk style of like verse where it ends on the same line to kind of give you that feeling of a chorus, and then the bridge comes in, and like looking at it from a songwriting perspective, it's 3 verses and a bridge, and that's it.
Real quick, I think this is one of those songs that like they were inspired by Bob Dylan, his style.
Yeah, no, that makes that makes a ton of sense. It's written very similarly, especially when you think about like Don't Think Twice, it's all right. That would be one that kind of fits in that same vein. But like again, the bridge, but like that's where Ringo really gets to come in and is like doom, 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 like almost a similar fill to Come Together, which is weird because those songs are like too polarizing on the Beatles scale. Something that definitely that lifted up for me for the list was seeing it in Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I just think like just that attachment, especially given the song because I know that you talked about, Andrew, how this is kind of like somebody admiring from the window. Like if what was it? If every breath you take is at the top, and then one way or another is at the bottom. This is kind of the happy medium.
I don't understand what you mean by at the bottom.
Like at the other end of the scale, I guess.
Oh, from like loving to creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with you
because this song is definitely a little creepy.
What? Okay. All right, your time's up.
Okay.
I think I love you, buddy. I think that this is one of the most romantic songs ever made. And what I love the most about it, and what I think makes it work the most, is the simplicity of that main motif. Just something in the way that she moves. It's that intangible quality of your romantic partner that you can't quite put your finger on. But whatever that quality is, it's the greatest thing in the world to you. And I think that simple idea is just incredibly moving. Because there is that like magnetic force that pulls you to somebody that you just truly love. And I think that George Harrison just captured that idea incredibly well. Like the way that the lyrics kind of just like flow, that like just sonically, even just saying it without music, without singing it, it's just a really beautiful creation.
Andrew, did you ever get there was a show that played on the radios here. I don't know if it was originally in the States. But it was a song, there was a show called The Brief History of Rock. Or A History of Rock. I forget who exactly hosted it.
I don't know if we got that over here.
No. The reason I say that is because they had a show, or they had an arc of shows, I guess, where they would take the backing instruments out of a song and play just the raw vocals. And I would love to. I wonder if they ever did that, because they've done it with like Smells Like Teen Spirit or Wonderwall. But I think this would be another really good example of like if you take the meat and potatoes out of it, how does this sound?
I should check that out. But the last thing I do want to say is I want to add on to what Brooklyn was talking about with Ringo's drums. I think that it just carries the George's guitar incredibly well. I think it's just a great anchor that kind of like ties everything together in a beautiful bow. But yeah, it's just one of those incredibly romantic songs that captures a subject that is so difficult to write about. Cody, what do you think about this song? Is there something to it?
Meh. I'm sorry. I feel really bad. I don't think this is a song I've listened to prior. I don't love it. And if you said you said a very key person that this was inspired by. Did you say Bob Dylan?
Well, we don't know that for sure, but the writing style.
It's written very similar to a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, and
I don't like Dylan, so that doesn't. If that's not far off for me. I mean, overall, he's bad. Bob Dylan's bad. I'm sorry to tell you that he's bad. He's bad. Like he's good for the time.
About him at least 3 more times.
Yeah. How many vetoes do I have? He could be used for all of them.
No, you gave him ammo.
He's like I don't get it. I'm glad people were high back then. He probably wouldn't have done anything if he wasn't. So
talk about this song, damn it.
The Beatles have so many good songs. Let's be real, so many. Like maybe this is just isn't for me.
Maybe you're not a George Harrison song fan.
That could be. And Joe, there's a better Beatle that covered songs that wasn't a part of the band.
I'll get that later. All right.
Come together.
Oh, come on.
Now.
Okay, let's move on.
It's the facts.
to the new number 81, "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. Brooklyn, you had this lower than I did.
Okay, so I'm bringing this up for 2 seconds, and that's it.
Okay, but you only get one shot and one opportunity.
Like, it's just crazy that that's all you need. You like, it's like for any of the guitar players playing at home, and you're like, how do you play this riff? It's in drop D. You play the top two strings, and then you put your index finger over the first fret of those two strings. That's all you fucking do, and that's all this beat fucking needs. The piano does a really good job of kind of like contrasting that vibe, because it's like really it's really kind of like light and whatnot, and I think there's like a crinkle kind of effect, I think, to kind of give the sensation of it being from like an old tape or something. But like, if you had one shot, one opportunity, seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it? Like, you think about how often that is used in like sporting events, even when you're golfing with your fucking buddies, and like you have to hit this tough approach shot. It's just it's ingrained into pop culture, even beyond memes, to an extent. Even the whole mom spaghetti memes and whatnot. But then it's like trying to find the lines here. Like the best belief somebody paid the Pied Piper, I think, is one that everybody is like, they can kind of mumble to, but then they get to that line, everybody knows that one. But just like, even if you take the time to like not listen to it for a little bit and then come back, that chorus still just hits so fucking hard. And this how the strings and then the piano really kind of hit in there, because you can tell the pianos, they're like they're angry hitting those notes, really kind of striking them. It's such a great song, especially given our generation.
Yeah, I think the strength of this song is Eminem's ferocity as he attacks these lines, because just like the way, like his anger and his desperation as he's like saying these lines blends incredibly well, and you feel that, especially as it builds and builds and builds throughout the song. Like, it's one of those songs that you think it kind of starts at a 10 and then like stays at a 10. No, 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 no. This thing starts at like an 8, and it builds and it builds and it builds, and then like it is an incredible emotion that's captured in the performance. One thing that I'm surprised that you didn't talk about was the percussion. I think the percussion in this song is so incredibly tight and well made, that it really cradles the rest of the instrumentation that does capture that kind of like dark, ominous energy. Yeah, there's a reason that this is one of those songs that's on like so many people's like workout playlist or pump up playlist and things like that. It's just a great goddamn song. But Cody, you moved this up. Give us more.
I was playing in the beginning. The mood all changed. I was out and boot off stage, but I kept grinding. Oh, come! Like, if I had to pick one, like my childhood built on one artist, it would be Eminem. Like, sneaking, listening to the Eminem show, under my bed, just singing, cleaning out my closet, just like pissed off at life, just because I was an angsty teenager. Like, and this song, like, I don't love the movie. Like, I think the movie is arguably a bad movie, regardless of what people say. This song gives us everything. Like, I felt like a kid. I hate, my biggest frustration in life. I hate when Eminem, we get very little of Eminem nowadays. Like, very little Eminem. Because he doesn't need to anymore. Like, really? Like, Machine Gun Kelly came out and he made him change genres. Like, he's the person you don't fuck with. He is like the Baba Yaga of rap. Like, you just leave him alone and let him live his life. Don't talk about Haley. Don't talk about any of his family. Just let him be. Let him just reside where he is. But every time he gets on stage, he did it at the Oscars, and I felt like a 16-year-old kid all over again, like listening to Eminem, like, oh my god, it's Lose Yourself. the Super Bowl, Lose Yourself. It's his only thing that I can't. He's got so many good songs and so many good ones. Most are not playable. This is probably his most family friendly, safe one, if he really. But like, it's not really that family safe. But But when he plays it, like that line is, "There is no movie. There's no Mekhi Phifer. This is not like he goes home and barely knows his own daughter." Like those lyrics that he's able to sing is like a person that's absolutely grinding for everything. Like he's got to get out of this mobile home. If not, we've all been in those situations. Like if we don't leave this town or if we don't do anything, this will be my resting spot. Like I have to try something different. I have to like branch out. I have to go. If I don't try now, I'll never try. And that's basically, he was pushed to the limit where I have to get out. I have to, or I'm dead. Because he will fall into the same lines as so many people in that area fell to. So this song is just so good. It gets such the cliche as like people's like palms sweaty needs mom spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
It's just like, but like the lyrics past that point, like the verses in this song are so well written, and he does such a good job of outlining like his almost like as he's rapping, like his like anger and like drive is increasing as the song is going. Like he's like, this is it. Like you better go capture him. So pump up music, absolutely, for football. Like Lose Yourself was like the get go, like get ready to go. Yeah, when I saw it on the list, I'm like, I don't care what happens. I don't care what song is where. I'm gonna put this at the front if it's not. And he's so good. He is so good.
Okay. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of Off Our Stones. Let's quickly recap this episode. So at number 90, it's She's Not There by the Zombies. Number 89 is Be My Baby by the Ronettes. Number 88 is You Can't Hurry Love by the Supremes. 87 is Dancing in the Street by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Number 86 is Jump by Van Halen. Then we have NWA with Straight Outta Compton. Crazy on You by Heart at number 84. At Last by Etta James at number 83. Then the Beatles come in with Something at number 82. And then we end the list off with Lose Yourself by Eminem at number 81. So, gang, I have just sent the playlist for next week's episode into our group chat. Cody, some initial thoughts, if you don't mind.
I was still listening to.
I was about to say, I don't think that he's even looking at the list. I still think that he's finishing.
He's finishing out Lose Yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We're not done. Oh, guys.
Uh-oh.
There's only 10, correct? These Spotify
Only 10. Only 10.
Number 9's hilarious to me, just because that's a meme.
Why? Whatever could you be talking about?
I mean, I'm really excited for number 2. I think this is saying, and like a song that I really enjoyed. I think from the last time I was on is on this list at number 4. I think that's the one that
Yes, it is. That's the one.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that again. Like, yeah, this is a good list. This is a good list. I don't think there's any. I gotta start picking and choosing my vetoes because I'm running out of spots. But yeah. I think we might be safe next week. I don't know, but we'll see. When's some Peter Gabriel showing up? When's some Peter Gabriel and Bob Dylan? I need those two people to show up.
Well, I'll look at that as we end this episode. Brooklyn, any final thoughts on this before we head off?
No, I'm very excited to talk about next week. There's 3 songs, 3 songs in particular that I'm like I want to flesh out.
Okay, well, with that being said, thank you guys for watching Off Our Stones. That is Cody Newberry. That is Brooklyn Vale. I am Andrew Barr. Thank y'all for watching, and keep on rocking.